Notre Dame versus Georgia. It's the Sugar Bowl, the college football playoff quarterfinals. It doesn't get a whole lot bigger than this. It does, but not a whole lot. These two blue blood programs matching up in the quarterfinals, a huge deal. Tim Hyde and I are going to preview this game. Again, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff, January 1st. It's in the Superdome in New Orleans. You can catch the game on ESPN. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video before we dive into Tim's 3 keys to the game. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content. Key number 1 for you, Tim, seeing ghosts. A little abstract here. Tell us what you mean by this.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely all about Al Golden. He's going to be going against a first-time starting quarterback in the Sugar Bowl, the playoff game. Number 2, Georgia. Notre Dame's number 3 in the AP, so you got 2 versus 3 in the Associated Press poll, which is interesting. So, but when you look at seeing ghosts, it's all the matchups, all the combination coverages that he does, mixing and matching out there, especially playing so much man, chasing guys all over the place. Notre Dame plays more man defense than anyone in the country. Pro Football Focus ranks Notre Dame 3rd in pass coverage grade, shows you how elite they are. And then 2 stats that are just eye-popping, I'm sure, to Kirby Smart and the offensive staff is Notre Dame is number 1 in the country in completion percentage against, at elite all season long, and yards per attempt, 3rd. So people are just throwing it short, trying to get rid of it. So this is a massive, massive issue here. Golden, disguise, and let the strength of Notre Dame, which is the secondary, take over this game.
Okay, key number 2, Tim. Stealing a couple possessions. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing the SEC champs. I mean, you got to get some turnovers. This is all about turnovers. You know, protecting the football on offense, but more importantly on D. Notre Dame has caused 29 turnovers in the country. Number 1 in the country, number 3 in overall turnover margin. So it's, you know, in big games, playoff games, playing obviously Georgia, who is, you know, the elite program of this modern era right now, overtaking Alabama. Stealing a possession, not letting that new quarterback, that rookie, that first-time starter get comfortable in this game. So they could swarm him, going back to my first point, make him think someone's there and they're not, get a turnover. That's going to be key to let Riley Leonard run the ball, milk some clock, and roll from there.
Key number 3, Tim, O-line, D-line driven program put to the test.
I mean, this is right here. This is Marcus Freeman and Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart, he recruits a boatload of defensive linemen. He's over-recruited on the offensive line. They sign 5, 6, 7 every year on the O-line. They just stack bodies. A lot of NFL draft picks in the offensive line. So this is definitely a Kirby Smart philosophy. And obviously we hear this all the time out of Marcus Freeman, how he wants to be an O-line, D-line driven program. So it is going to be put to the test because Georgia up front, it's got some NFL dudes. Offensive line, a couple All-Americans at the guards and all SEC center. No Riley Mills, who is on multiple All-American teams this year. So how do those, Gabe Rubio stepping up, Heinisch getting more reps than ever? How do those guys step up? A guy like Oben, who's going to be needed against the run because we're expecting Georgia to run the ball more. Bryce Young keeps getting better and better and better. And then on the offensive line, it's a unit that has improved each and every week. They just have gotten better. They played a lot of football together. And that offensive line obviously is going to be the key to this game of protecting Riley Leonard and letting him cause havoc against Georgia.
Tim, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. I'm curious for what matchup should scare Georgia the most when it comes to Notre Dame, and what matchup should scare Notre Dame the most when it comes to Georgia?
I think matchup is Notre Dame's secondary. I think their corners could run all day long with Georgia's wide receivers. Georgia's wide receivers, we talked about in our show on Monday night, is they lead the country in drops. So some really good wide receivers, but Notre Dame's going to be able to run with those guys. So I think that's something where Georgia's like, how are we going to create a mismatch here or there to get someone open against these coverage guys that just run all over the field and play fearless? And that's obviously goes the Mike Mickens and Al Golden, what they've created in the secondary. And then for Notre Dame, it's going to be to me, pass rush, defensive pass rush. So I'm really sticking with the defensive things, defensive coverage versus Georgia. And then even though he's a junior, his 3rd year in the program, his first start, there are going to be times where they have to throw the football. So where's Notre Dame going to get that pass rush? Because Georgia's in the top 10 when it comes to PFF, pass blocking grades. Offensive line is long and extremely athletic.
Okay.
So I think that's Notre Dame's worry of we've got to get pressure on this quarterback somewhere, somehow.
Okay. So what Georgia should be scared of with Notre Dame is that Notre Dame secondary. And on the other side, you're saying that Notre Dame should be scared about like just their lack of being able to get pressure up
Yes.
front. Okay.
Pressure up. Yes.
Yeah. So
Young's got to go crazy, and then the guy who keeps improving all the time is Jalen Sneed. Just let that guy run around. Osbury, the way he blitzes and causes havoc, and that's part of Golden's scheme. Just to take 2 seconds is a blitz to create someone else to get open, and that's just kind of what he's done. Since he's been here, is havoc over here to allow a one-on-one matchup over there to come free. So expect that against Georgia.
okay, let's go over on to the score prediction. So here's OddsShark. We love OddsShark over here. 42-26 in favor of Notre Dame, Tim. I know you would take that to the bank. The spread right now, I think it opened at Notre Dame -2. It flipped to Georgia -2. It's come down to Georgia as just a 1-point favorite. And 96, according to OddsShark, 96%. I think this is 96% of bets are on that Georgia -1, which seems very high. The over-under, I feel like it was 44, 45. That's moved up to 46. And then you look at OddsShark's couple of expert picks. They put this in when it was plus 1.5 for Notre Dame. Right, Kirby Smart has the experience playing a national championship 2 of the last 3 years. Yet, with 2 losses under its belt, we've seen Georgia look very or strangely beatable this season. And now without the quarterback one on a neutral field, can we trust the backup quarterback with our favorite bets? Meanwhile, Georgia's defense isn't what it once was, giving up a fair amount of rushing and passing yards. And they also like a Jeremiah Love anytime TD, which he scored every single game this season, so it's probably a good bet. Tim, I have Notre Dame 19-16. Don't ask me how they get to 19. It's happened before in football. It's going to happen again. Take it to the bank. Don't take it to the bank. I like a low scoring, and I like Notre Dame by field goal. Tim Hyde, what about you?
Yeah, Mike, I'll be honest with you. I've been flipping coins for a week. I've been watching film like crazy, going back and forth. And, as I mentioned on our live show, it's Georgia. You just keep coming back to Georgia. Notre Dame hasn't won a game like this in ages. But then as we broke things down, I started thinking about the intangibles. Notre Dame, year 3. So far, it's meant something. I think it is going to mean something. And then lastly, this really drove me nuts because I saw a viral video of Cam Newton bashing Notre Dame on ESPN. And I started thinking, how in the world can anyone pick against Notre Dame and be on Cam Newton's side? How can I, as a Notre Dame guy, be like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, Cam Newton's correct. I think Georgia's going to get them. So Notre Dame's never beaten Georgia. They lost in the Sugar Bowl way back in the 1980 season, and obviously lost in 17 and 19 in 2 really, really close football games. So I think the first-time quarterback for Georgia is gonna throw a pick here or there. I think Notre Dame is just having a magical season. I think they're going to beat Georgia, and I'm going to go. My philosophy sometimes is win by 1, right? 20-19. Notre Dame's going to eke this thing out, and we're going to go play Penn State down, I believe, in the Orange Bowl.
So me and you both have Notre Dame scoring 19, or you have Georgia. We have both 19 in our score. What are the odds?
How about that?
I just think, Tim, it's going to look a lot like that A&M game. I do.
I agree.
Notre Dame won by 10 right at the end, but that thing was tight. So I do like Notre Dame. It's not going to be pretty, but I feel confident, Tim. Like I really do. Like I think Notre Dame's going to win this football game. I've said all week I'm kind of 50-50 on it, but just the more you think about this game, like this ain't the past 3 years. Georgia might have had the best team in the country last year. Let's just call it. They may have. They missed the playoff. But they still may have had the best team. But this ain't that team. Even with Carson Beck, we still might be here picking Notre Dame, but without him, I feel pretty confident. So that's going to do it for this video, folks. Please hit the thumbs up on it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here at Blue and Gold and catch us after the game. Win, lose, delays, whatever the case may be. I don't care if the game goes till 4 a.m. Tim and I will be live on this YouTube channel within seconds of the final score or the clock hitting 000. So catch us right here. Hit the thumbs up again if you have not done so yet, and we'll catch you next time.